welcome to the Everyday Millionaire Show with Ryan Greenberg and Nick Kalpis. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Everyday Millionaire Show. We're here, internal, Chase, Nick, and myself. I know it's been a while. We're in a different studio, aka Chase's basement, while we build out our office and studio. That's why we haven't had one in a while. Got in trouble from our YouTube consultant, Eric and Carl, that we don't have any content to post. So here we are. Got some stuff to talk about. Chase has a broken mic that we can't fix.
Much needed, yeah. I think it's cooler, though. I like kind of holding it.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, you know where it's at the whole time.
I've solved a lot of problems in my life.
By holding it?
Like, no. Just in general. Like, I've built a bunch of houses. I've built some companies. I've done so many things. But getting that piece out of that microphone, all of us failed at that.
Yeah, I was telling the guys today that I used some liquid nails. I took a thread and threaded it in with liquid nails and sat it for a couple hours.
I'm going to drill it down. If it doesn't work, we'll buy another piece.
Yeah, so basically there's a nut stuck inside of it that we can't get out. And it's been like that for a few months now.
Yeah, so we can't even get another guest on. Anyway, here we go. So a couple of things I wanted to talk about. One is I am liquidating a bunch of my rentals. And we could talk through that.
Yeah, I want to. That's news to me.
News to you. Not news to Chase, but news to you. And I was coaching. I was on a coaching call with Jet today, and I was talking about some other things. And like, there's a life cycle to every house, right? Mm-hmm. You know this because you've been doing this now for almost 10 years. That you put all this new stuff in a house: HVAC, roof, everything, new kitchen. In 10 years, it's not new anymore. Mm-hmm. So like this house, my first house that I bought, emotionally, I'm attached to it because like I bought it, I lived in it, I rented out the rooms, I house hacked it. That was like the thing back then. And I'm emotionally attached to it. But I just found out that the roof is going bad. So I fixed the roof, but it's a Band-Aid. That's not going to last forever. To replace it's going to be $8,000. The HVAC's working fine. But I know it's at least 10 years old because I bought the house without a brand new HVAC. So I bought it 10 years ago, and now we're 10 years later. These things only last 15 years, maybe 20. So if I start replacing the roof and doing the HVAC system, I figured out that that's 2.5 years of cash flow that I would lose. When I sell it, I'm going to get like $85,000 in my pocket. I can take that $85,000 and at this one, I did the homestead on it because it was my first primary, and I can move it into a newer asset. I could put 20% down on a townhome like this, literally like a brand new build, rent it out for 10 years, and then do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And I feel like instead of, especially owning the property management company and seeing all these people, before we got here, I was talking to Justin about this exact thing. You buy a rental property in the city that's 120 years old, and you put lipstick on a pig, you do like minor renovations. Next thing you know, your HVAC's gone. Next thing you know, your roof is bad. Your windows are bad. Every one of those things is a year of cash flow in this environment, right?
Yeah.
So
that's the importance of knowing like the CapEx, right? Like everyone goes off of like, what is the cash flow from day one? If that day one property is already 5 years, 10 years outdated, then you're looking at those things a lot sooner. Whereas like you mentioned, like the properties that we typically do, they're brand new renovations. We get people in there, but 10 years down the road, they're not so new anymore. So that expenditure is definitely something that does need to be factored in every time for this reason. No one really thinks about it from the jump about, 10 years down the line. They just think, well, maybe I'll have that cash stacked away to pay for those things, but that's not always the case.
I thought these assets I'd be holding for 30 years. I really thought like this is my retirement plan. I'm going to keep this property forever, and then I'll be paid off and blah, blah, blah. But the more I think about it and the more I own, the more I manage, it just makes sense to recycle it, get something new, move the money into something, especially for this one, I don't pay taxes because it's technically a homestead. I had a primary, but like, even if it was a rental, you 1031 it into a better asset. Like, our Benfield house, that's a legacy asset. We will fix the HVAC system there. That's great. Like, that is something that we keep to the grave. But some 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom on Patterson Park, probably not something that I need to keep for the rest of my life and keep fixing and putting between the HVAC and roof is $16,000. I only make 500 and change a month gross. It doesn't make sense for me to hold that property, sell it, get something new.
I always thought the sweet spot for those rentals in particular, like especially burrs, are like 10 to like 15 years, somewhere in there. But I always thought like 12 years was like the sweet spot, because like that's typically a roof, the life cycle of a roof. And like I don't want to replace a roof. Like I'll just sell it, replenish and go buy a new one.
Yeah, and hopefully during that period, 12 to 15 years, appreciation kicks in to where you can sell it. You have a little bit of the debt pay down. Obviously, most of the debt pay down on the back half of the loan. So there's a lot to consider, but that is a good, reasonable thought to do that and just recycle it every so often. The thing that I look at is, that debt pay down is on the backside of the loan. So I'm going to try my best to push through what I have, but I know at some point when a lot of CapEx are going to start to come up, years down the line at once, that's going to be, a second thought. I might think like, hey, maybe I should sell one or two just to kind of, offset some of the expenses.
Yeah, and it's like so we got really lucky in the sense that when we were buying these properties, 2016 is when I started, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, beginning of 2020, you couldn't lose. I mean, everything you bought made money. Interest rates were low. You can cash flow on anything. Rent was higher than mortgage. Now, it's not really the case. So, and in the situation that I'm in now, financially, I would rather just take that money and even not even buy another property, just put it into my Merrill Lynch account, let them invest it, make 14%, 12%, whatever it is, and spread across the index funds, and not even have to worry about toilets and tenants. And there are a bunch of properties that I plan on keeping for a while, but the ones that are kind of a pain in the ass, or I know that are going to start breaking, I think I'm getting rid of them. My college house, I'm having a really hard time keeping it rented. Towson, in that sense, like I was forward thinking when I bought that house because Towson was underhoused. We didn't have enough housing. And in the time that I bought that house till now, there's been this massive development in Towson. All these luxury apartments came up. They knocked down the dorm that I lived in. That was a 2-story dorm. Now it's a high rise. And all of that happened within the last few years. I was saying when I bought it, like, there's not enough housing. I bought this college house. Now it's full of college kids for this many years. It was great. I was cash flowing. Now, not only are the kids not on Facebook, which I was finding all the tenants from, I'm competing against places that have rooftop pools and courtyards.
That's tough to compete with.
How are you going to compete with that when So I'm selling that house and I'm selling my first house, and there's a couple other ones that I have on the chopping block that if things start to break, they're going to start getting sold. And that's just it. And I think that's like a big thing. Like I know you're big, like volume and buying the doors, but somebody getting into the game now in this world, like right now with the rates where they are, the market where they are, be really careful on what you're buying and like where you're putting that money. Because if you don't have, like, you're sitting on a ton of equity because you bought a bunch of houses right now, people aren't buying these houses right. They're buying them high.
Yeah. High price, high interest rate.
High material.
Higher than it was before when we had lower interest rates. So it's just a combination of a lot of higher expenses than what we were buying back in 2018, 2019, 2020.
Yeah. So that's just something that I'm doing. That's a strategy that I've changed completely, like 180. Like I'm keeping every one of these houses for 30 years. This is going to be my kids' college fund. This is going to be, I'm going to, whatever. But now that you things just change. I mean, my theory on everything changed. The amount of money I have changed. And I think that's something that you have to be prepared to do, is also change your plan and plan to change.
No, I definitely see that point of view. I guess mine would be, I probably won't sell anything that I have like a 5% interest rate or lower, just because it's, interest rates now when you refinance are like 7.5%, 5.5% and lower. At that time in 21, 22, that was kind of like ideal. A lot of them were like 4.25% when they hit like the floor with
one
the DSCR
thing
loans.
that I'm going to talk to Chase about on our way down to Chattanooga this week is that house, the one house that I'm selling, 15 Belnord, I have a 3% rate on. I'm trying to potentially sub to it to somebody, have them pay me $50K down, get $50K in my pocket, and charge them a 5.5% rate. Now I'm not only not responsible for the property anymore, I got $50K in my pocket. They take over my loan, which is like half of what it's worth. I'm at like a 50% ARV, LTV right now. And I'm beating the market rate by 2 points.
Yeah, but then you're only getting 2.5% on that other equity.
I'd be getting
the 50,000 that you're going to get. Like, how much equity do you think you have in the house?
Probably like 100K.
Okay, so basically you're beginning 2.5% of the other 50K.
Of the other 100K.
Because he's going to give you 50 cash.
Right. So essentially, if I sold it for 200 subject to, he gave me 50. I'm financing 150 with him. I owe like 100 on it. So I'm making 2.5% on
50.
No, on 150 because the bank is only charging me 3%. Do you see what I'm saying?
On the whole amount. Yeah, gotcha.
So the 25 delta
on the whole 150,
and the 25 delta, I'm making 5.5% because that's my money.
Yeah, on the 50.
So I'm making 2% or 2.5% on the 100 that I owe, and then 5.5% on the 25, and I got 50 in my pocket, and I don't have to fix the roof or the HVAC.
You got to run the cash on cash return on that and see like what it is. But this sounds pretty good though.
I think it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like a hybrid structure of a creative deal because you're seller financing 25K plus the sub 2 deal plus 50 out of pocket.
Yeah, it sounds like something the Kinzer Group of Vibe Realty should sell for me.
We'll do. Sounds like a hybrid agent type of thing.
That's it. So I think and getting creative, man. Like the deal I sold to Jet with Brett, like it wouldn't have worked if I didn't seller finance half of it with him, and like neither of them even knew what seller financing was when I made this deal happen. And I knew both of them, and I knew how to make it creative, and I made it work, and we sold it, and we did it, and now it's a good deal. But had he bought it with hard money, it wouldn't have been a good deal. So getting creative is like literally half the battle.
Yeah.
Like right now, anyway. Back in 2019, I'd have a different story.
Well, the problem is finding a seller that'll allow you to be creative, right? Like you lucked out because Brett was your client, now friend, and then you had Jet, the student, so you could kind of be the intermediate there. But like when you're cold calling and like talking to different sellers, like you have to first educate them on the process.
That's what I was going to say. It's education first.
Yeah, you have to educate them, and then you have to run the process through and hope that they trust you, and you build that trust and rapport. You already had the trust and rapport with Brett, so like it was just the education process that he was missing. So,
yeah.
But it is super cool, dude. Those like creative deals and you being able to make 5.5% and 2.5% on each side, dude, is pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I know for a fact I'm going to be making more than my $500 a month gross. I know for a fact I won't have to change any HVAC systems, and I have $50K that I could just throw into Merrill Lynch and have them play with and not have to worry about it.
Yes, that's another factor is using that $50K that you would have cash from them to get more money, more interest.
Yeah, so I've been just squirreling as much cash into Merrill Lynch as possible because I have that business line of credit against my cash that I have with them. And I don't want to say how much I have in there, but it's a good amount of money. And the line of credit that I have against it is not, I haven't used it yet, but it's a prime plus 2, let's just say 9% or whatever it is. I haven't borrowed anything, but I have access to 90% of the total value. And every step that you get, like once you reached 250, your interest rate goes down. Once you reach 500, your interest rate goes down. So eventually you're basically borrowing your own money for free while they're making like their average on the last, like if you looked at, they showed me a sheet of their average of the last like 10 years. And it's like an average of 16%, which is a little skewed because we had a couple of crazy years with the stock market going wild, but 16% is like per year. That for me, if let's just say for round numbers, I have $1 million cash in there, I'm making $160K a year doing absolutely nothing, spread across multiple different industries, not having to worry about your tenants, not, you have a couple, you were just saying you have some vacancies. I don't have to worry about vacancies when I'm invested into Merrill Lynch. Like there are other things that you worry about, but I do think that right now there are some better investments than just the people that are obsessed with just buying rentals. I just bought 3 vans and 2 vans and a truck. I'm investing in my companies. I think that's another thing I want to talk about today. And I know Chase and I have been talking about like buying like an HVAC company. I'm investing more into my companies right now than I am into real estate. And there's a generation, our parents' generation, maybe not Chase's parents just yet because he's a young boy, but our parents' generation owns majority of the companies, like the HVAC companies, the plumbing companies, the electricians, the remediation companies. The people I met with today, they're almost at retirement age. They need to sell those companies. A lot of people don't even know what they're sitting on. The HVAC guy doing $1 million a year doesn't know that he can sell that. He's just working and putting money into some account that his money manager told him to put it into so he can one day retire and he'll close up his doors and be done. We can come in and say, hey, your retirement plan is letting me take over your company and I'll sell or finance it from you, educating them again, saying, I'm going to pay you, let's just say $500,000, and I'm going to pay you this much per year, and I'm going to give you this much interest. So over the next 10 years, you're really going to get $1 million for this. That's your retirement plan. And I think there's a ton of, they called it something, and the silver wave, I forget what it's called. Somebody will come up with it eventually in the comments or something, but there's a term for all of that boomer generation needing a place to put their businesses. And unfortunately, a lot of people our age are not hustling. They don't want to take over the business, especially if their parents were rich and they're leaving them money. They have no reason to hustle and grind.
Yeah. Yeah, like you said, a lot of those businesses, they don't know that they can even sell them. They just think like we're just going to work until one day we shut the doors, like you mentioned, and just get out of it. And like if we get in there and we tell them like, look, here's an opportunity for you to actually sell the business, that's probably eye-opening to them, because of their generation is probably still stuck in that old time to where their systems are all out of place. Maybe they're doing $1 million a year and they can just tweak or add some systems into the business to go from 1 to 3 million pretty quickly just by adding like the systems that we have today in 2025.
Yep.
Talking about like investment strategy change, I think that has been something that has been on my mind as far as like when I first got into the game. I was like, oh, I want to be like Nick Kalfas. I want to own 100 rentals and I want to retire on passive income. That's what we all think when we get into real estate. And then you start hearing about your woes and your property management woes, and then you start realizing that owning rentals is really owning a business, right? And so if I'm going to spend all of this money owning rentals and working a business, why wouldn't I just put that money back into my business, grow and scale a business that I could eventually one day sell? And that's why I've been talking to Ryan about like an HVAC company in particular, because like you have the service model, but also you have investors that need full system change or swaps, and those type of things. And there are a ton of boomers right now, like Ryan was saying, that are gonna retire, and most of those guys are the technicians. Like they're in the field and they don't know how to build systems and get on social media. And that's something that I've talked about with a bunch of people, and even created a fucking PowerPoint that I showed you. Is like, hey, listen, if we just take this technology-based solution, systematize everything for the company, and then market the hell out of it, imagine what that technician doing $1 million a year by word of mouth could now do if he's just broadcasted a little bit on Facebook. I mean, how much work do you get from Shipley's?
I was literally talking to Jet today about this because his social media, all his business comes from paying Google ads. Like he's spending a lot of money on Google ads for his tent company. And I said, let me show you something, because like his and he admits this, so I'm not like talking shit. Like his social media sucks. There are so many opportunities for him to get on these, like he rents tents, Dreamers event rentals. He's going to be looking for people that are getting married, looking for people that local politicians that are holding events. The Baltimore Real Producers, they hold events, they rent tents. Johns Hopkins holds annual alumni events I used to DJ for, and they rent a ton of tents. I said, you need to get on Facebook and into these groups. And I literally pulled it up in front of him. I just typed in weddings, and one of the top groups was like weddings, vendors, and something, brides and vendors. And I was like, boom, look at this group, and you need to be posting every day and commenting on every single one of them. And then I pulled up the Shipley's Choice Facebook group, and I typed my name in, and I was like, look, boom, 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 boom. My name appeared 50 fucking times. Like over and over and over again, people are recommending me. Today, I just had another person post the deck. And that's just, so I don't want to say unprovoked, because I do ask them to post. And some of them, I even make the pictures and I give it to them, and I send it to them. I'm like, hey, can you make a post in the group? Mm-hmm. And I will tell you that I am making a lot of money every month, not even leaving my neighborhood, just from posting in the Facebook group. That's not paid advertisement. That's just asking for referrals. And anybody that's starting a business can do that without any money. And that's crucial, because people can't just start a business and put 10 grand a month into Google ads. Mm-hmm. But you can go on Facebook and join a group within that industry and comment on every single thing. And people are forced to see who you are. You and a couple other people tagged me in a thing, somebody looking for a developer. Or a builder in the Maryland Investor Network. I got tagged by like Dave Shannon, you, Sean. I mean, there's like 5 or 6 people. Obviously, that dude hit me up, and we're talking him through a pre-development we're going to probably charge $10,000 for, and we're going to help him get to the phase where he can even get an estimate from us, because we can't give him an estimate. We don't even know what we're going to be approved to build. That is all just people knowing who you are, tagging you. These people are just friends. Like, you can have literally, you start a business, you can just ask your friends and family to post in these groups about you, tagging you, and you will get business. Like, it's not a question. Mm-hmm. You will get business from it.
Yeah. And just reaching out to your friends and family, like you mentioned, is very important. When I first started out as a realtor with Keller Williams, that was like a big thing. Like, we'd get on calls and just call our friends and family. It felt a lot of like really uncomfortable, because we'd ask like, hey, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell a house? Blah, blah, blah. And then even when we'd have, open houses, we'd go into the neighbors' doors and hand out flyers like, hey, we're having an open house. So it's similar to that, just reaching out to your friends and family like, hey, I just started this business, or I have this business. Who do you know that needs a deck built? Who do you know that needs a new bathroom? Yep. And such, just to get that business off the ground.
Let me give you a little secret sauce here. Something else you could do that I know an attorney that does this very well and markets very well. They hire a VA, and they'll have the VA go on your Facebook page, go in all these groups, and their sole job is to monitor the groups. And when somebody asks for your specific industry's needs, type your name. Hey, I can help you.
Yep. And that's it. Exactly what I told Jet to do today. He's hired 2 cyberbackers so far. And I was like, get a third part-time, or use that person half and half for sales and half for marketing. And their only job will be to post on Facebook groups and comment on Facebook groups. And even if it's not somebody directly saying, I need a tent, it could be somebody just asking for a photographer. And now you know a photographer because you've just done a ton of weddings, and you say to the photographer, hey, if you hear anybody asking for a tent, you tag me. If I hear anybody asking for a photographer, I'll tag you. And you just answered. The fact that you're answering, people are seeing, it's like a billboard. People are seeing your name. They can't help but see your name. The problem, and Chase and I have talked through this problem before, like it's like, we'll take my example in Shipley's Choice. Nobody knows, I don't want to say nobody, but people don't know PE home remodeling. They know Ryan Greenberg. That's a problem. You can't be the brand. You have to brand outside of your name. That is something that I'm working on, and we've been talking about rebranding and doing all this stuff. But like within my community, if people are talking about a contractor, they're talking about Ryan Greenberg, not my company, which is not great. Because then you
got to build a brand that's strong too, right? Like it has to have a strong presence. It has to be loud. You have to present that brand very well. Like folders, your truck wrap, like you have your truck wraps, right? Like there's a ton of things. And for like Jet, something I'm sitting here thinking of is like, dude, he could be taking wedding planners out to lunch.
Dude, right? I just told him, call Sandy D'Amelio, who owns a catering company. Right. Call these politicians like Mike Griffin, who I put him in contact with. Say, hey, I know you have the need for tents. Let me give you one for free and show you how I work. And I did this in my neighborhood. I did a bunch of gutter cleanings. I was doing, at the time when I started doing these gutter cleanings, our business was probably doing $7 million a year, and I was cleaning people's gutters. And then when they would they would ask how much, I would say, no, it's on me. Just make a post about me. And that forces people to remember you. It costed me $150 maybe to have that gutter cleaned. But that person, I'm in their brain, oh, this is a good dude. He lives in my neighborhood. All he wants is a Facebook post. That's easy. So I said to Jet, give away a couple of tents. Call the big people that you know are going to be. You don't want to give it away to some mom who's doing their daughter's wedding because that's a one-off. You want the big whale. You want the Johns Hopkins, or you want the person that owns a catering company. So call that person and say, hey, I know you have tent referral right now. I want to give you one for free. If you're happy with our business, I'd love to work with you. And again, I went over his cost basis on that. It costs him less than I imagine, I don't know this to be 100% true, than he puts into Google Ads every month. Guaranteed. And all you're doing is permanently, and I made a connection with them, with like the Be My Guest Catering, Sandy and Jet. But I bet you she's so busy. I'm building an addition for her. She's got, it's her busy season. She doesn't remember that connection. But I said, I guarantee you, Jet, if you called her right now and said, I want to give you a free tent, she's going to remember you then. And you got to get people to remember you. That's like the number one thing in business. So I'm investing right now money into trucks, wrapping the trucks. Did you get Adam that information, by the way?
Yeah. Okay. He's connected with the guy, and they're gonna design everything.
So I'm wrapping all the trucks that I'm buying. That's another thing. We're gonna talk about my tantrum today.
Oh, Lord.
Nick doesn't even know. Nick doesn't even know what happened. But so I guess let's just wrap this part up. Social media is free. Hire a VA. That's not free, but it's cheap. Get into the groups. What else am I missing? Post. Talk to friends and family.
Yeah.
Build relationships, I think, on social media, right? On the platform itself, within your industry too. You can build those relationships. Like mortgage brokers are always hitting up realtors to get in there because they know we have the clients first, right? Like typically when you think of buying a house, you don't go to a mortgage person first. So like build relationships within your industry, and then you can bounce referrals off of each other. So yeah, I think referrals.
Yeah, and just don't be afraid or shy to post on social media. Like I feel like a lot of people out there that maybe they'll see something but they don't post, maybe because they're shy or they're afraid. But just post if it has something to do with how you can help them. Make sure you post on that and get your name out there and your business active.
Yep, absolutely. All right, on to my tantrum. I got to reset my body here because it's gonna get me angry. I'm not gonna say the name of the company because they did make it right and give me my money back, and I feel bad bashing them. But listen to this, Nick, and everybody. I go into a car dealership the other day, a used car dealership near my house that I know buys and sells a lot of work vehicles. So I hate doing this. I hate shopping for cars. Adam, who's now, is working remotely, is typically the one that I send into the car dealership to go buy this shit because I just don't like the feeling of them trying to sell me on this stuff. I don't like that. It's not a good warm and fuzzy feeling. I always feel like I'm getting scammed. Mm-hmm. So I go into this dealership and I say, first I drive around the lot myself with Chauncey. So a person that I'm paying a high salary per hour to drive around this lot. And all I see is this guy sharking me. Every time I turned down one thing, he would walk down that way. And I knew what he was doing. He's waiting for me to get out so he can just pounce on me and sell me. So I finally found a truck that I wanted. And I got out of the car and I was like, look, I'm going to be the easiest client that you guys have ever had. I need 3 vehicles. I need that truck. I need 2 vans with no windows, white. I'll buy them in cash. My only negotiation is, I don't know if you know this, but if you finance it, you get a cheaper price on the vehicle than if you buy it in cash. But I don't want to finance them. I want to buy them in cash. So I said, I want to get the financing price, which was $2,000 less than So I know for a fact that they could do this because
is that because it's in-house financing?
I guess they get a kickback from the bank or something. I don't really fully understand it, to be honest with you. But I said, there's two things I'm going to negotiate. I'm not going to negotiate the price of the car. I'm not even going to test drive these cars. I'm going to bring them to my mechanic because there's a 90-day warranty. If my mechanic says it's not going to blow up tomorrow, I'm keeping it. The only two things I negotiated was I want the cash, I want the financing price, and I'm going to pay cash. I'm going to pay cash via a wire. I'm going to wire you half of it, and then the other half I want to pay on my Amex, and I'll split the fee with you. It's 3%, 1.5% each. And they were like, oh, well, you can't really buy cars on an Amex. I said, no, you can. I've done this a bunch. I bought 3 vans last year, all on my credit card. And I use it so I can get points and travel around the world and do all the things that I do with points. And they were like, oh, well, I'll have to talk to my manager. They run it up to the manager. Great. They said, you can do it. Okay, I'll wire. It was 4 o'clock, so I couldn't get them the money that day. I said, I'll wire you the money first thing in the morning for this van or for this truck. And then the other 2 vans they were getting from like Pennsylvania on Friday. So I was like, as soon as you get them and I see them, I'll wire you the money for those. And I'm be in and out of here this week with 3 cars, 3 vehicles. So the next day comes, I wire them the money. I go in there at the end of the day. I called them on the way because I was driving across town, dropping Chauncey off with his car so he can get in mine so we can go drive this car off the lot. So I waste an hour driving back and forth. I get there, sign all the documents. The lady comes up. I'm trying to make this story short. Says, okay, I'm ready to take your payment. All right, great. Here's my Amex. Oh, we don't accept credit cards. I said, oh, no. Like the manager was literally like a little bit further than where Chase is from me. And I'm like, no. He said, and I saw his face drop. And then this lady saw my face turn red. Like I was angry. She's like, well, come back in the back room in my office. And then she tries to sell me on financing. And I fucking blew up. I was like, I'm done. I'm not buying shit from you guys. Give me my money back. And she's like, oh, well, I'm sorry, but our accounting department just left. I'm like, oh, you motherfucker. So I go out into the fucking lobby, and my salesman was sitting there, and it's not his fault because his boss gave him permission to do this. So I shouldn't have really blown up on him as much as the manager. But I was like, he was sitting with clients, and I was like, I'm really sorry for what I'm about to do. And I was like, you fucking lied to me. You lied to me. You wasted my time. I did what I told you I was going to do. How many people come into this car dealership and say, I'm going to buy 3 cars without test driving them, without financing them, and just wire you a bunch of money? How many people do that? Not many fucking people, I guarantee it. And anyway, the next couple minutes I left, the manager called me, apologized. The owner said that he changed the policy that day. That day they changed the policy. So I'm like, that's just bad business. If you change the policy that day, sure. But if you made an agreement with somebody the day before, just fucking honor it. And if you knew I was coming in and just about to drop $85,000, $90,000 with you in cash or credit, whatever, like for them, it's the same thing. Why would you blow that sale? Like I was literally just got done telling you how I buy multiple vehicles a year. I'll probably buy another 3 at the end of this year. Like this is the craziest business move that you guys have ever done.
Sounds like they made up that when they said they just stopped doing that day. Like how big of a coincidence would that be if the day before they tell you that it's good to do it, and then the next day they create that policy?
I don't know, Nick, but I was real mad. So the next day when I went back to get my check, I said first, I want my money back that I wired you. I want my $25 wire fee, and I want my $170 that I paid my insurance broker for the insurance because they made me get insurance before I drove it off the lot. I got there the next day. They gave me the check. It was short the 25 and the 170. Let's back up for a second. The manager calls me, and then the day before when I blew up and said, hey, can we make this deal happen if I offer you a $500 discount? I'm like, dog, are you like, that's an insult. That's literally a $500. You wasted $500 of my time by just making me come into the freaking dealership to sign the papers that you weren't going to do the deal.
What'd you say the name of the dealership was again?
I'm not gonna do that to them. I've already bashed one company, Poseidon Marine, who I'm coming for. So Hunter Harris, watch out, because I'm coming for that boy down in Florida because he put my life at risk with that trailer incident. But I'm not going to bash this company directly, but I am going to tell the story because I did promise them in my tantrum that I was going to talk about them on my next podcast, and told them to follow the Everyday Millionaire show. Like a little baby.
So where are you at now with the vehicles?
I bought 3 cars.
From them?
Nope.
Oh, from somewhere else?
Yep.
Gotcha.
And then I got screwed over on one, so I actually only bought 2.
How'd you get screwed over on one?
So I bought, dude, Carvana. I know Chase like warned me, like they're, you know, they could fuck you over with whatever, but like Carvana made it really easy. I went on there, literally put my routing and account number in, bought a truck. It's getting delivered to my house tomorrow. The other 2 I bought on Enterprise. And I did end up financing the one because they wouldn't do the discount. So I was like, I'll just finance it, pay it off that next month because there's no prepayment penalty. So I was like, I'll just pay 1 month and then pay it off. So I got 2 emails. Congratulations on your Ford Transit, and then congratulations on your Chevy 20, whatever it was, 250 van. So I got a Chevy van and a Ford van. And this is from Enterprise, like car, like sales. They're like fleet vehicles. And the Enterprise guy calls me today, actually, while I was like emptying trash at the office. And was that today or yesterday? Yesterday. Calls me yesterday and is like, hey, I saw you bought a van off of our website. Like, it's getting transferred for this. I can take your credit card over the phone for the transfer fee, and we'll have it on Friday. Great, here you go. And I gave him the credit card. I was like, I actually bought another van. Do you see that one too? So I could just pay the transfer on that. And he's like, oh, no, I don't see it. Let me look it up. And then he's like, do you have the VIN? Gave him the VIN. He's like, oh, that just sold. I was like, yeah, I think it sold to me. Like, I got an email, like, congratulations on your new van. Literally, I have an email that says you just bought this van. And he was like, no, it actually sold on the lot today. So
Damn.
you didn't buy the van. I'm like, I'm just trying to give these people money and buy fucking used vans and trucks. Like, it's been a fucking roller coaster.
Wait, so how does that work? So it's not like an auction or anything, right? It's just whatever's available at that time. But I'm assuming your transaction probably went through online, but somebody was actually there physically at the lot and was able to.
Dude, I have no idea.
Enterprise is such a joke.
I have no idea how any of this works. I'm not a fucking car buyer.
Their online system doesn't work because we rented a car from them, and you know about this. This was our trip down to Miami. We rented a car from Enterprise. We get on the road, get going down the highway, 50 miles an hour, the steering wheel is just shaking, like rattling. And I'm like, dude, I can't deal with this for 12 hours. No shot. So we're calling them. We're like, hey, we're on our way to Miami. Is there any like shops or anywhere locations that you guys can send us to swap this vehicle? Oh, yeah, there's one 2 miles down on your way. All right, cool. Send us there. It's like 15 minutes off the highway. So we get there, whatever. We're sitting there. There's nobody in the location. The lady comes in, she's like, oh, sorry, there's nothing on the lot. I was like, you guys just told me that you had it on the lot. Like, your online thing said it was on the lot. They're a joke, dude. But I think that's a lot of these car companies, to be honest. And like Carvana, my neighbor sold her car. It was about to blow up, dude. Somebody, like, literally about to blow up. It was like smoking from the hood. She sold it to them. They put it on the tow truck, didn't turn the car on, didn't do nothing. Besides, I mean, they turned it on to get it on the tow truck or whatever. But
that's the thing, like how, like on Carvana, that's all like all online, right? They just come and pick your car up and deliver it to whoever buys it.
They send you an offer,
and then like
you
accept
it.
Check it out. I mean,
Dude,
that's one thing that you
maybe
definitely
this
want to
car is gonna blow
out,
up, but they do have a money back guarantee, so I'm gonna bring it to my mechanic right away and have him check it out. But I will say, like, shout out to Carvana for making my life a hell of a lot easier than all of these other places. Like, I'll blow up Enterprise, not blow up like literally, but like on the podcast. Like, I don't care saying their name, but the private dealer, I'm not gonna ruin him just yet.
Just yet,
just in case he, you know. But anyway,
I mean, that's. I just want to go back to that for a moment. That's literally their sales tactic. Like, yep, we're going to agree with everything you say, and then you come in the next day and they fuck you. Just how it is.
But you know what? Do that to the one-off guy that's coming in to buy a $13,000 Civic. Mm-hmm. That's like, do that to him. And I feel bad saying that. I shouldn't even say that. Don't do that to anybody. Like as a contractor, like, I do what I say I'm going to do as per the contract, and I want to respect all of my clients the same way. Property management, same thing. Realtor, same thing. Like, you have a fiduciary duty to that person to do right by them. And when you see me roll up there and not even try to test drive these cars and just about to give you 90 grand or whatever it is, 80 something. I think I spent $82,000 in the last few days on these cars. Like, you should do whatever you can to make that deal work, because I literally said we have needs to buy multiple vehicles per year, because we beat them up, we run them into the ground, we buy new ones. Like, we buy used ones, we don't buy new ones, but that's what we do. You think you would like make that person happy.
Yeah.
But Carvana, I went online, I found the one that I wanted.
Where was that located?
I don't even know. It doesn't even matter, because they literally just pick it up and deliver it to your fucking house.
Yeah, like it was like another state or like close by?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
But I think actually it was in Gaithersburg or something.
Gotcha.
But literally I went on there, found the truck, put my routing and account number in, paid for it, and they said, okay, it's going to be delivered on Wednesday. Upload your insurance verification and photocopy of your ID.
Yeah.
Literally did those two things. They texted me a confirmation. Tomorrow the car is going to show up in my front yard.
It's just better, like when you do in the future, just for future reference, look for stuff like that's south of here, just because of the cold weather and the salt. If there's trucks up north, typically, they'll get salt damage and rust a lot quicker. And then some of those trucks may have been plow trucks to where they start to rust out underneath faster.
Yeah.
There's a middle ground there, though. Too much south, you get the saltwater air that Florida gets.
True.
Yeah, and the sun too. The sun beats up on it. I mean, regardless, these cars that these trucks and stuff that I'm looking for is I need a white one that I can wrap that's not totally beat to shit, and I need it to run for 2 years and I get my money back on it. And I not get my money back, but like I'm paying 25, 30 grand for these things. I'm not like buying them brand new. They're going to get beat up either way. I really need to get, X amount of miles off them. I get the like $1,000 extended warranty on the engine, and in 2 years, if it doesn't work anymore. But shit, I have that one Nissan truck that Eric drives, that Cody drove first, then Adam drove it, now Eric driving it. That thing, we've put over 100,000, 120,000 miles on it ourselves, and we just keep getting it serviced, and it keeps on running.
Yeah.
So yes, I do agree. And the Carvana thing, the car could blow up. I'm going to bring it to a mechanic, do my due diligence, but I will tell you what, they made my life way easier than going into a car dealership and trying to talk to these people.
Car dealership thing is the worst. Tesla had a really good experience. I had a fabulous experience with them. I wish they would start making work trucks and vans. That'd be pretty sick. Because, I mean, literally it's the same thing. You just go and you pick it up and they, push it to your app and then you just go get in your car and that's it. Like, it's not like you sit around at a dealership for 3 hours waiting.
I feel like they always like sit you down. It's like a timeshare.
Terrible.
They're like one of those timeshare things.
Yeah.
They're like, you could go to the Hilton for 2 days. You just have to come to a 40-minute seminar. Yeah. And they sit you down.
6
they
hours
sell
later.
And sell. I'm like, no seminars, no fucking. I'm just want to give you $90,000 and walk away with 3 vans. That's all I want to do. Can we make it simple? And they didn't. So I went somewhere else, and now I have to go somewhere else again. So I think I've been looking on Carvana for the third one because it was so easy. So like, make your customers' life easy, and they will be returning customers. That goes for all businesses, not just used car dealers. But used car dealers are the scum of the earth, in my opinion. So that's just, I'm going to leave it at that. I had talk about our Ironman this weekend. I don't know if this is going to be released before the race. So you might be taking over the podcast.
Well, let me take over this
fully.
podcast for a second. All right, so I'm going to ask you guys some questions about the Ironman.
Yeah.
You guys, are in sync with it. I'm not doing it, obviously. I got to, maybe next time. I'll get to that.
He's about to make an excuse, and then he didn't.
I'm just not there yet. But maybe I'll get there. Anyway, so this is a 70-mile Ironman, right? You got to do, is it a mile and a half in the water?
1.4 mile swim.
56 mile
57 mile bike ride.
And then half a marathon, so 13.1 miles.
It's actually, they just to be fuckers threw an extra 0.2 on there, so it's actually 13.3 miles.
So that's going to kill you guys, the extra 0.2.
Yeah.
So how prepared do you guys feel right now with it?
I'll be honest, like coming into this whole thing and like doing the shorter distance triathlons, my biggest struggle was the swim. Mm-hmm. And I felt the other day we went and did an open water swim in the river, and we swam downriver and upriver against current, and I felt really, really strong. Not so fast, but like I felt confident, whereas some of these races, like I thought I was going to drown.
Yeah. What's the terrain outside the water with the biking and the
So
run?
that's going to be the most difficult part for us because we've been training minimal hills because we don't really just have a ton of hills around here. And it's Chattanooga. It's going to be very, very hilly. So the bike,
both bike and
both bike and the run are going to be more hilly than what we've been training. So that my coach has raised some concern about that. Luckily on the bike, you get the downhill, so you can coast. But on the running hills sucks, man.
Yeah.
Like it's tough.
I'm going to be definitely, so overall, I feel good enough to get me through. Oh Lord. Like Ryan was saying the other day, basically we feel good enough to survive, but it's just going to be about timing at this point. Like, are we going to be at 6 hours, 6.5? Like, where are we going to land? But for me, like the swim, I'm confident enough that I could probably float on my back and make it down the river and be fine. And like, I went out with Matt the other day, did 3,200 yards. Like I was slow, but like I was there. I was getting hit by waves. So I'm confident in the water. I'm slow though, slower than I had been, especially in like Miami. I felt a lot faster. I've been kind of like tweaking my technique there. So I don't know what happened, but I am slower for sure. And then on the bike, I'm going to be taking my time. Like I'm going to try to keep up with you as much as I can, but I'm going to be saving my legs for that run because that run is going to be absolutely atrocious.
So with the swim, are you more sore with your arms or your legs?
It's
or
all
both? It's a combination.
Typically with the swim, most people think about kicking being like your primary propulsion. It's your arms.
So that's why I asked, because if it's your arms, then you get on the bike, then it's your legs. So you still have like your legs left. After the swim.
Yeah. You feel very minimal lower body fatigue while swimming. If you do, you're swimming wrong.
And are these, each section are they timed to where like if you don't finish
Yes.
a section in a certain amount of time, then they just say, hey, you can't finish the race?
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're worried about Sean not finishing in time for the swim. Like,
So everything has a cutoff, and
What's the
there's
timeline for the swim?
Swim's an hour 10.
20.
10.
Hour
And what do you guys
20.
project it for? You guys
45 minutes.
45.
Yeah. I'm a big data guy. So like I've been training with power meters on my pedals, and on my trainer we have power meters. So I know exactly where my body starts producing lactic acid. I know what wattage I want to keep going at. Like I know that if I stay at 180 watts or less on the bike, I won't blow up. Like that's essentially, if I go and start pushing 200, 220 watts for too long, I'm going to get fatigued. So I have a bike computer. We have one. It's over there. We could like show it. It's just a little screen, and it has connection to my pedals, connection to my heart rate. And I have a threshold heart rate that I want to stay under. Like I want to be under 155, somewhere in that range, and about 180 watts. If I could do that, like most flats, I'm going to be doing 18, 19, 20 miles an hour. If I can hold that, we're like 3 hours on the bike. And that's kind of going to be, Chase and I are trying to do this. We're going to try to stick together as much as we can. So
Sean said that he's going to leave you guys some the flippers under the water. So you guys
Sean's going to need them. I do believe that Sean will finish, but hell of a time to find out you can't swim like 2 months
He
before.
told me that if he sees you guys at a distance on the run, he will catch up to you. Even
He
if he's
will.
Oh, he
100
will.
miles
100
ahead.
if he sees us, is the
Yeah, he will not see us.
Yeah.
There's no way. We also biked with him. Chase and I are just much better on the bike.
What's the longest bike ride that you guys have done?
100 miles,
100
100 and change, yeah.
Damn.
I haven't done 100 yet. I've done 60s.
Well, 60, I guess. I mean, it's still good enough for this race.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the bike too, like once you get out of the water, you can really like, you have to average more than, essentially if you take the maximum amount of time on the swim, you have to average more than 13 miles an hour on the bike, which on these road bikes that most people have is pretty easy. Like that should be doable for most people.
What pace do you keep for the 56 miles on the bike?
I'm gonna try to be like 19 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, like 18 to 20 somewhere.
Yeah, and like, you know, going downhill, I have aero bars, so I'll be a little bit faster than Chase going downhill. He's got a little bit lighter of a bike. He should be faster uphill. So it's like back and forth. But, you know, going downhill, we're going anywhere from 35 to 40 miles an hour. And then uphill, you're doing 8. And then on the flats, we hope to be doing 19, 20. And then it should average somewhere in the 19. I hope 19 miles an hour is my goal. If we can hit that, great. If we can't, and we come short of that, like if we're in the 17, 18 range, that is what it is. But the hardest thing, and I think Chase can attest to this, is transition from bike to run. Because you go from something that's very quad dominant to something that's supposed to be glute and hamstring dominant, but when you get fatigued and tired, you start running standing more straight up and down rather than in the proper running stance. So you have to kind of engage different muscles, and it's a weird feeling because you've just been on a bike for 3 hours. It's also a weird feeling getting out of the water because you're kind of like got this like rocking thing going on. And then you get on your bike, and then you're stuck there for 3 hours. And then you get off your bike and your legs are tired. And now you have to run 13 miles. So the first couple miles, definitely you got to get loosened up, and there's strategy to that. There's, we can't go out too fast. You don't want to go out too slow. On Saturday, we did our last big workout where we swam 1.3 miles, so almost the distance. We biked 26 miles pretty hard. Like we were pretty fast on that. And then we ran, was supposed to be 3.5, ended up being 6.5. And I felt great the whole time. So I'm like, we have to double that, obviously, on the bike and the run. But I believe that our goal, and I'm going to say it live on a podcast, is 6 hours. I think we can finish the thing in 6 hours, and that's the goal. And if I do survive and have a good time, Chase and I and a couple of others will be signing up for the Maryland Cambridge full Ironman 140. So that's double.
When is that one?
That's in September.
This year.
It just so happens that it's the perfect timing that we can detrain for a couple of weeks and then ramp up again and get to peak. Because you can't stay at like peak fitness like for the whole year. You need to kind of detrain and retrain. So September is the perfect timeline. I've already talked to my coach about this. I told him Chase is in. We're going to get a couple.
Just for the record, guys, I'm not in yet. I need to do more research and due diligence on this. So
it's a flat course.
It's on record here.
And that's in Maryland, right?
That's in Cambridge, at the Cambridge Hyatt. Yeah, it's a flat course. Matt Edwards, who's a sick fuck, picked that one. I would have not picked that one for the full just because it's kind of a boring, it's a 2-lap bike, but instead of it being like a big long loop, it's 2 laps and the same thing, and then the run is kind of an out and back same thing. But
what do you mean 2 laps? Like it's
so it's 2 56-mile laps.
Okay,
it's
so you're doing the same
terrain twice, and then the run is a marathon at the end. So it's a 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike, and then a marathon. And the marathon is an out and back. So you like basically go out 13 miles and you come back 13 miles. So that's not like as cool as we're going to be biking through the Smoky Mountains and like just northern Georgia.
If I'm gonna do an Ironman, that's what I want to do. Something like in a different state. Like this is the fun part. Like Thursday is gonna be like it's gonna suck and drive the 9-hour drive, but like it's gonna be fun. It's with the boys. Like we're going out. We're gonna see a new location. We're gonna hit new restaurants. Like
you're gonna work the whole way down in some of my houses.
Experience. Yeah. I mean, but I don't want to go Cambridge. Are you kidding me? Like. That's the one you guys choose? Like, I don't know.
Matt already signed up. It's $1,000. I can't let him do it alone.
So you're in. I'm not fully
Chase
in.
is basically saying he's a bad friend to Matt and me. And now I'm just going to sign him up with his money. He doesn't.
The only way this is happening is if you buy me a brand new TT bike.
We'll talk about it. We'll see what prices you get from a house you're going to sell.
So what are your plans after that? After you sign up for the September one?
Like we got to train. It's basically like essentially 4 hours a day of training.
Well, no, after that, do you want to do like more after that? Or
I don't know. I don't even know that I'm going to want to do the full after the half yet. I got to figure that part out first. I think
the halves are the better like hybrid. Like you can, if we could get down this half training, then you can do half training and bodybuilding kind of simultaneously and like actually be in good shape, like body wise. Like I've lost a little bit of weight, but I feel like if you look at all of the professional pros that are doing full Ironmans and they're pros, they're all skinny, man. None of them have muscle.
Yeah. But I will say the one cool part about all this training, like we've been training probably, I would say, an average of maybe 15 hours a week of like cardio and between strength and cardio. You could literally eat whatever you want. Like I burned the other day, I think you burned about the same, 3,600 calories from the time we woke up to the time we finished our workout. Yeah. Like you can eat literally whatever you want and not gain any weight. By the end of that day, I burned 4,200 calories, and like I was eating like double cheeseburgers and pasta. Like you can literally eat whatever you want. So that's a cool thing. I do think like for me personally right now, I really want to get through the half and then the full, just to say that I am truly an Ironman, and then we'll see after that. But the perfect distance for me, like that Miami race, the Olympic distance, is a really fun it's 3 hours. It's not grueling. You can like have a good time, do the race, be done by noon, and at brunch by 1 o'clock, you know? So the Olympic distances are really fun, but I do need to get through this like mentally. I feel like you get to a certain point in your life where you're like, I've done all these things and they're supposed to be really hard. And then you try to do this thing and it's like actually really hard. And you're like, it's addicting. Like you're like, I'm pushing my body to the absolute fucking limit. And I love
Not just
that.
the body, dude. It's the mental. You're pushing your mind to the absolute edge. Like every time I get in the pool or we're jumping in the open water, like it's like, oh my God, I'm about to swim 2,800 and this is all I'm going to do for the next 45 minutes. And it's like, it's boring. Like, but
you just have
like,
to be okay with your thoughts. Yeah. It's, and I think that's like, but that will translate. And for anybody that's listening and like trying to get in shape, trying to change themselves, like that does translate into other parts of your life. Because if you're like, oh, I just fucking worked out and did cardio for 3 hours straight, there's not much else during that day that could be harder than that. Like mentally, sure, something can happen at work or whatever, you know, somebody could fall off a ladder or whatever, but like you're so damn tired that like that's the hardest part of your day, getting up and structuring that workout and making sure you stay getting after it for 3 hours, or you're going to blow up on this race day and embarrass yourself. And we got 10 guys doing this race, I think 10 or 12 guys doing this race with us. Like, I'm not going to be last. I'll tell you that right now. Like, we're going to be, you know, we're all going to be battling out there and all going to be cheering for each other at the same time. So when somebody passes us, like, we're going to be cheering them on, and vice versa. And the culture in these races and these triathlons is so fucking addictive.
It is. Yeah, I will say that's the one thing about the culture, or like triathlons in general, is the culture is phenomenal. Like, go watch any YouTube videos of like the tracks, like Chattanooga, like the fans on the side, like, I mean, not fans, but like families, and like even just the people that live in Chattanooga are just out there supporting these people that are pushing their bodies to crazy limits. So like that culture, I don't know how to describe it, but it's different. For sure.
Everybody there is just at peak performance, and not everybody. Some people are just like really overwhelmed in their weight, and they're just like there to try to do something and change their life, which is also really cool. But every single person, you're battling yourself and you're cheering on every other person around you, and every person around you is cheering you on, including the people on the sidelines. Like when I just did this triathlon in St. Anthony's down in St. Pete, there was people that like were in Snell Isle, which are like $10 million houses, that set up like ladders and sprinklers attached to a ladder that would sprinkle down on us, so when we were running by, it would cool us down. There was a guy spin biking on his driveway, blasting a big DJ speaker of music and like cheering us on his spin bike as we ran and biked by him. Like that energy that you feel, like I've played sports at a high level, and like that's the feeling that I get when I like, because I played sports in high school and then college, and then you don't like, you could play intramurals or whatever, but it's just not the same. Like it's not the same like level of competition. And in the triathlon world, like you can make your competition you can go to the highest level if you want. and you could try to compete with some of these guys that are just absolute monsters, and you're watching them pass you at 28 miles an hour. We probably wouldn't watch them pass us because they'd be way ahead of us to begin with. But like the pros are doing these things, like we're looking at 6 hours, like the record's like 3 and change. Or even less. I'd have to look it up. But like these people are absolute monsters, running half marathons at 5-minute pace. Like it's just like knowing that there are people that are that much better and we have this much to go. Like it's just cool, man. Like it's, if you have the time, and right now, like I'm blessed to have like the time to do all this training, and that's why I think the full is going to be this year, because once you have kids and you have other things, like right now the business is pretty stable. I can step away in the morning, and typically we're waking up at 4, 5, 6 in the morning to do this training. Some people don't have that luxury, but if you do, I'm telling you, like it is an addicting, it's fun and it's addicting.
Also, last thing, you got to have a crew. If you don't have a group of people that are doing this with you, it is so much more challenging. And that's why he called Matt like a sick fuck, because Matt can do this alone. And there's some people that can train alone and like go hours on hours of swimming and biking by themselves. Dude, when you have like me, Ryan, Sean, like all these guys doing it together, like you can chat, but you're still like, sometimes you get down on the bike and you're just going, and Ryan will pull away and I'm like, fuck, I gotta catch him. So like, you know, it's just like that competition too there. Like it's really hard for me, like,
and accountability.
Yeah.
Just like having that accountability in the group. Like a couple weekends ago, 2 weekends ago, I knew I needed to get a big brick workout in, which is bike to run, because that's the hardest part of this whole thing. So I texted in the group chat, and I was racing cars that weekend. So I had to be on the racetrack by like 9:30 in the morning. Matt literally came, it was raining that day. He came to my house at 4 o'clock in the morning, set up his bike trainer next to mine in my basement. By 4:30, we're pedaling. By 6 o'clock, we're out running. We ran, did our full workout. By 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'm on the road to the track and racing cars by 9:30. I would have never woken up at 4 o'clock in the morning to ride my bike downstairs if Matt didn't show up at my house with his bike trainer and was downstairs ready to ride his bike.
Yeah.
So there, you do need the crew, and having everybody in the group chat calling each other out for missing a day or whatever, just like cheering them on, it's huge, man. And there's nothing like it. Like the camaraderie. It's funny. Like I just recently had a couple of the triathlon guys over for my birthday, and none of my friends drink anymore. Like we're all like drinking like non-alcoholic beers, and then Tyler comes and brings like a 12-pack and is getting after it, and then I don't think in the beginning he realized that everybody like wasn't really drinking, and he's like, am I the only one drinking here? Is this an intervention? But that's the other like part of it. It's like everybody is so dialed in to getting their body like in that perfect shape to do these things that we all just like voluntarily gave up alcohol. Like we stopped doing the things that were going to harm us in any way from getting after it the next day. So it bleeds, like the mentality and everything bleeds into all these other aspects of your life. Like I hate to admit that I was a pot smoker. I don't smoke weed anymore.
You don't?
Like no.
Damn.
I don't. And I was doing it at night. I was doing it, when I was bored essentially. But now I don't. And I don't do it because I know that it's going to affect my performance. And I don't drink because I know the next day that workout won't be the same. Mm-hmm. I won't be able to put out those watts. I won't be able to swim that long. My head will hurt. So I've switched to non-alcoholic beers, and I still go out and have fun with people. And I can go out now. I've proven to myself and chase the same thing that we can go out. We can hang out with friends, drink a non-alcoholic drink or drink a Diet Coke or whatever it is that we drink, and have the same amount of fun that we had when we were drinking, if not more, because we know the next morning we're going to wake up and feel good. So it completely changed our lives, like in a sense where I was like always a social drinker. Like if people were drinking around me,
I was drinking.
I'm drinking.
Yep.
If people were smoking a joint, I'm going to hit the joint. Now it's easy for me to say no because I know for a fact that that is going to affect me in a way that will be negative towards my goal. So yeah, I guess we can wrap up the Iron Man talk. That's summary.
Well, good luck this weekend, guys.
Thanks. Hopefully, we'll be here again on
I
the
might be in a
podcast.
wheelchair. I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see.
No, it's going to be great. Chase is going to do fine. He just bought the super shoes that I bought. So we're going to be running fast, biking fast, swimming fast. I do think that like we're going to have some sort of pact that I'll probably wait. I think I might be out of the water probably a little faster than Chase. And then we're about the same on the bike. So I think I'll probably wait a couple minutes if Chase is behind me so we could stick together. And then the run, I think I'll have to pull him a little bit. I think you're going to be a little bit behind on the run, but I'm going to drag your ass, and we're going to do it together.
Yeah, I'm gonna be struggling. I don't know. I'm just not like where I was in Miami, but it's all good.
Yeah, Miami, you toasted my ass, so you could come out on race day and do the same. We'll see. What else? Whatever else. What do we got here? That's really all I put, and I guess we kind of talked about this, the importance of having hobbies and personal fulfillment. Like I've been racing cars recently. That's been a really fun, cool new hobby of mine. Joined a BMW club, bought a BMW to join the club, and like that's a cool place to be and network. I've been fishing in Florida all winter. Without those things, I think I would be like a miserable fuck.
I think that's me right now until fishing comes back around. Because I don't have like a ton of hobbies.
2
and
days. Rock she's open. Rock.
Yeah, no. And I've been like dragging, but like that's what I was telling Chris the other day. Like I want to join a pickleball league or something. Like I got to get back out, and like all I'm like work is consuming me and it's not good. So like you bringing that up, it's like you do need fulfillment. You do need something outside of your everyday hustle. I mean, what are some of your hobbies?
So you guys know I just got the boat like a couple months ago, so I'm excited to take it out this spring and summer, bring it down, and we'll probably tie up some time since your boat's back now.
You got to come down to the Blue Angels.
I'm going to be down there.
You got to come early so you can come up the Severn because they locked down the Severn.
So I do plan on leaving my house around 9 just to get there extra early. Last year I went down there on my jet ski, and that took an hour and 15, but that's just because it was rough. That was a one-time thing. I won't do that again. But that was a really cool experience, like driving the jet ski an hour and 15 from my house. And like the wake was so crazy because all the boats and just near the Bay Bridge. And I'm like, damn. And I had Lupe on the back. So it was like, extra difficult with 2 people on it, but it was fun. But this year it'll be great. With the boat.
We're either going to take the big boat or my center console, and we're going to go raft up with some people. So you should definitely come raft up with us. That'll be fun. But yeah, like the hobbies, man, like you can make all the money in the world and still be miserable. Like,
Are you guys golfing right now, or?
I haven't been.
I want to look into.
I played golf.
Into that more.
I played golf at my buddy Kimbo's bachelor party a couple weekends ago in Tampa. I'm signed up for a couple of charity tournaments coming up.
Matt Derby's.
Yep.
The day after Blue Angels.
Yep. I'm doing a little project manager special. I'm bringing the 2 project managers that we have and my business partner. You should get a foursome together for that.
No thanks.
You don't golf?
Huh?
You're not into golfing?
No, I do. It's just like it's $900 some. Like.
No, you could sign up for less than that. I think that's for a sponsorship.
So it was like $750 for a foursome or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Anyway, I've been so you need fulfillment, you need hobbies, but you can have too many. And I am one of those ones that bounce around. Like I just started racing cars, and that became like addicting. And now I've done that for a couple weekends where normally I'd be either out on the boat or golfing. And like I do still have to work too. Like I'm still running some companies, and I still have to be present. So there's a limit to the hobbies, but I've been having a blast doing the race car thing, man. That's been a fucking thrill.
Yeah, it's always fun going fast.
Yeah, and legally, like on the track. So you're like really learning how to drive and how to turn and how your car handles. And like these BMW M series cars, man, they're different. They're just different machines, man. It's a wild thing. But it's an incredibly expensive hobby, and I learned that the hard way. I picked the worst hobbies, like boating, Like boating and car racing and even triathlons, like they're fucking everything's expensive now. Anything, pickleball is the only like cheap thing to do, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's the only cheap hobby that I have that we don't even really do anymore. But like race cars, dude, every time you go to the track every day is basically $1,500, $2,000, no matter how you shake it.
Golfing's expensive.
Golfing's
Clubs,
expensive.
fittings, memberships.
T-shirt, yeah. If you want to join a country club, if you know, green fees, whatever. Yeah, everything's expensive. So work hard, play hard. You got to make the money, then you got to spend the money and play with it.
I agree.
Because you can't take it with you when you die.
Can't take it with you. Set up your kids if you have them, and
If you don't have them, start having them.
start having them. Elon tells us we need more kids, so we'll start working on that. But have fun and make sure you're really focusing on yourself. I think is like the big thing. Like you put yourself first. Make sure you're happy. I've met a bunch of millionaires that have a lot of houses and a lot of money and they're fucking miserable. And I've met people with way less money that are happy. So there's some sort of happy medium in between. And I feel like I finally have found that where I'm like having enough fun, but still able to grind at work and still able to like get after it and work and make money. So I truly think that, I'm blessed. Chase, I think at a young age has found that way sooner than I did.
We're close. Yeah. We got to find a little more hobbies, but I think we're close.
Well, I didn't at your age too. I was only working and poor, so you're in a way better situation than I was in at your age.
That's
so fair. I think you're doing great. And Nick, you're just a lazy fuck until you join me in the Ironman. But
I try to work as minimum as possible and make the most money as I can. So
that's it. That's the goal. All right.
One last thing.
Yep.
We have a event. We did change the location of the event.
Good thinking.
I don't know the exact address off the top of my head, but it's generally it's in the same area. It's in Towson.
No,
Timonium. It's in Timonium.
It's in Timonium.
Timonium. Close enough. And it is going to be July 31st from 6 to 9 p.m. Lock it in on your calendar. Last day of July.
Shout out to Mid-Atlantic. And
Let's shout them out. It's God. Why can't I press
Mid-Atlantic title and Mike Griffith.
Mike Griffith, who was a guest on the podcast, and also has been a huge supporter of us and our business. Mid-Atlantic Title, I just gave them $2 million worth of title work. They have sent Chase and I to Orioles Suites, to the sickest Capital game of probably the season, Game 5.
Yeah.
We had like the best club level, full service, full food. Everything was free. They had a candy store, basically. Everything was free. They had a girl coming around shucking oysters for you. Like literally she had buckets attached to her full of oysters that she would just shuck for you. It was unbelievable.
That could be a hobby, Nick. Let's make that a hobby.
Okay. So on July 31st at 9515 Deereco Road, Deereco. That's a hard word to say. I'm not a good reader. Suite 500, Timonium, Maryland. From 6 to 9, Albers and Associates, as well as Mid-Atlantic Title, are hosting open bar. So this is the first time we've ever done that. We've done drink tickets, but they're doing open bar. So full service bar. Everything is free. Food and even some live music, live entertainment. Chase will be wearing a dress and dancing on a table like he did in his last video. So watch him there. But no, July 31st, you got the address. Changing locations, open bar. Bring everybody. There's a Facebook event, and if you could, there's a link for the Eventbrite. Get a ticket. It's free, but it's important because we need to know how much food and how much alcohol to buy, and we need to let them know how many people are going to be coming to their event space. That's it.
Perfect.
All right, guys. Until next time.